Welcome in to this Y'all Politics Live here on Facebook. I'm Frank Corder, the managing editor of Y'all Politics. And joining me today from the great city of Vicksburg is Mayor George Flaggs. Mayor, how you doing this morning?
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing great. Thank you for joining us today on this Y'all Politics Live broadcast. Lots of stuff going on in the state, uh, depending on all the coronavirus pandemic issues. How are you addressing this in your city?
First of all, let me just say this, and I want everybody to be clear about this. From day one, I've started by listening to the White House task force on this virus, CDC, the governor of the state, and the State Department of Health. I've watched this daily. I continue to update myself. And when I saw the data coming in, I started being proactive. I started by taking care of the employees of this city, by putting a team in place where we could go through this for about 3 to 4 weeks. Then I went into the community, and then I started assessing the community. I started doing new briefing. I started doing a phase in. Now I'm at phase three. The only thing I got left now is phase four with a complete shutdown, and I do not want to go into it unless we absolutely have to. But I think we're 2 weeks ahead of the curve because we was proactive. But I wouldn't have been able to do that had it not been for the White House task force, if it had not been for CDC information, if it had not been for the governor of the state providing the kind of leadership that I think that he's been providing. But I think it's been unfair the way the New York Times, the Washington Post, and other northern newspaper and a few in this state have characterized him.
Well, I was going to ask you about that since you brought it up. There's been some of your colleagues in different mayoral seats around the state, as well as outside entities from the New Yorker to Rachel Maddow and MSNBC, different ones who basically said that the governor of our state, Tate Reeves, has not done enough. From your perspective as a mayor of Vicksburg, one of the largest cities in the state with a large hospital system, what do you say to that?
Well, let me just say something because I think they are reporting it in a biased way. I think they've been political about it. And you can look at it because when you look at who they criticize, it's Democrats versus Republicans. Who they criticize are red state against blue state. I'm not about the politics. I'm an independent. I'm about saving lives and minimize this spread of disease. I set up a model and a proactive measurement that's going to save lives and minimize the spread. I think we've done great. And that's because we've looked at data and we've watched the leaders and follow the leaders. I disagree with politicians and news reporters that blame people for health. You cannot unring a bell. I don't care what happened before this virus. The virus is here now, and what we have to do is face the reality of what it is now. And if we listen to people and if we make the adjustment, no, I didn't follow all the guidelines of the governor in his emergency order. It was me that started it in Vicksburg by utilizing the statute that I knew about as a legislator that gave the mayors the sole authority and the supervisor president the sole authority to do a emergency response to search of crisis. I didn't have to call the governor. I didn't have to call the president to exercise what I exercised. I exercised because I was elected by the peoples in Vicksburg to lead them and lead by example. So I exercised the authority that I had and I created it. While the legislature was still in session, we had two plans already in place. Before they decided to go out, we had already done that. My people are well aware in Vicksburg because I keep them informed, and we're ready. And we're in phases now where we're in a situation where we think we can handle this. We think and I continue to say that 2 weeks ahead of that because I watched New York, I watched Washington State, I watched California and San Francisco. What got my attention when San Francisco said they had 40 million people and over half of them gonna have this disease. When I saw them in San Francisco let 7 million people go home, I didn't have to wait till the governor tell me what to do. I started acting then.
Right. Now, you've shared the stage with President Trump a number of times on different issues, and as you stated, you're not D or R, you're independent, and you're trying to do what's right for your people. But you've been around Mr. Trump a number of times now. How do you think his response has been, and what's your opinion of his leadership of this pandemic?
First of all, let me clarify some stuff about my relationship with Donald Trump, and it's a great relationship. And in fact, I'm gonna be on a conference call at 12 o'clock with him. I've had great relationship with the last 5 presidents. I believe in what the Bible say. We should respect those in authority, and because of that, I have to respect that. We don't always agree, but at the same time, that we agree on, we work with it. I believe that he provides good leadership as it relates to want infrastructure, want to do this and do that. But I was listening to him, but at the same time, I was listening to the experts that are around him and what they were saying. I was listening to the Surgeon General and all those people. I was listening to Dr. Fowler, the guy over CDC. I mean, not CDC, community disease and those things. I was listening. I was reading. And so what I was doing was trying to look at how I could create a model that best fit Vicksburg. I'm Mayor of Vicksburg. I'm not the governor. I'm not the president. But yes, I listen to him and I work with him when I can work with him. But it's not politics with me. It's about he's the president of the United States, and I have to work with him. That's what a relationship starts. And I'm going to continue to do it. And you give me another president, I'm going to work with that president.
So, to the mayors out there across the state that may be trying to throw the governor or the president under the bus, what do you tell them?
Start at home. Start at home. Protect your people. Do what you can by exercising the right precaution at home first. What we need most, based on our reading, is the mayor to have a stay-at-home policy, a shelter-in-place policy, and by all means, we're at a stage now that every community in this nation are going to face this critical pass that we're about to go to. And New York have already said that. And that is the community transmission. That's where you're having face-to-face spread of this virus. So exercise using the mask, as the CDC said, exercise using gloves now. Use I'm just told as early this morning that the social distance is working. It is beginning to minimize and mitigate this disease. So use those. These are common sense things.